Hi, welcome to the finale of Against the Vampire Conspiracy, Ties of Blood, a 5-part but 4-operation series, this one being the last. Last session, the 3 remaining operators went to it was a underworld storage depot that the conspiracy had used in a sort of panic to get some of its papers and documents out of the site of the ever-approaching MI6 internal investigation into the operations of EDOM. And so they moved all of their archives and their things into the laps of the Playboys, a East End gang who were woefully under-equipped for both the Maldy Crows, their Irish rivals, and the operators, who charmed their way inside and got hold of a hard drive that, if the conspiracy had been playing things by the books or by their own operation procedures, it would never have ended up there. But they walked away with yet another convert. They seem to acquire lots of them, and yet another explosion, a thing that seems to happen all the time. But it was another fairly low stakes operation, I would say, overall. But this time it's going to go much more serious. But what we had in the meantime was they were lacking one person, one Constantine, their academic, who was perhaps, now feel free to say no, but you did get a message from your anchor, Dr.
Professor
Obramov, and he rang you up and he said, "Oh, Constantine, my boy, I'm visiting London. I hear you are around these parts. Perhaps we could meet. I have much I need to discuss with you."
Of course, Mikhail.
Of course, yes. And he gives you a location at the back of an old archival library, a private library in London. Mahogany, finely carved, very quiet. A grim-faced man at security has you sign into the board, and Professor Obramov has clearly already vouched for you.
And I look for Mikhail.
At the back of the room, private sort of long table, empty place. You see Mikhail, and he's sat and he's reading a book. And he ignores you as you come up to him.
Mikhail? And I will reach and just touch his shoulder.
His head lolls back. His book drops to the table out of his hands, and pale white eyes stare unblinkingly at you. And a low rasp echoes from his breath, and he says, "I'm sorry, my boy." And you hear footsteps coming towards you, as I have marked taken on the conspiracy thing.
And I have also some heat.
Going to spend some heat, and I decided that this is also going to be the attack part of the thing, as Constantine was alone away from his group and is out in the wild, and now it's conspiracy snatch squad.
What do I see when I spin around?
You see shadowy figures, men, very serious looking men, dead eyes, walking towards you, wearing smart business attire and with perhaps something bulging in their jackets as they come.
And I will reach out towards them and say, "Stay away from me." Do they stay away from me?
No.
Then I will harness the dark.
In fact, they stop and they smile and they go, "Mr. Constantine, you must come with us. It's a matter of national security." And they flash MI6 things, and then you pull out harness the dark.
I pull out harness the dark. Quite what I'm going to do with it, I'm not entirely certain yet.
Flee for your life?
I am going to flee for my life by confusing or clouding the perceptions of pursuers, or empowering my body to run faster. Take your pick. I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the operator has that mark stress. Okay, well, that's not a problem at this point. And then I roll a d6. I can add, whoops daisy. Oh, hang on, I need to make that window a bit bigger. Okay, I can mark the stress dice if I want to. And I suppose the question I have to ask you, because it's unclear as I've written the rule, is whether I gain the benefit of either military fieldcraft for pace or larceny or disguise for the benefit of the clouding.
I would almost go with intrusion for the benefit of the clouding, to be honest.
Okay.
Because intrusion is also extrusion, right?
It is exfiltration as well as infiltration. Okay. If the target is supernatural, then an invocation may be the only way to compensate for their power cancelling operator expertise. You will need to tell me whether I should uncheck that orange box, orange dice, because of some. If they are hyped on serum, then
well,
that might cancel it.
You know that they are wearing dark sunglasses and staying away from the windows and the sunlight that comes in, and their eyes glint in the as they come towards you.
Okay, and I think that in terms of how this looks, again, we've tended to see stuff from other people's points of view. I think that they begin to see a darkness swirling around Constantine. And when it clears, he hopes it's going to be gone. Wow. I will roll those 2 dice. Oh, that's a 5 on a stress die, so stress goes up again. But that would normally be, I say normally be, flee for your life. You get away unless control chooses to spend, inverted commas, more heat to maintain the pursuit and forces you to flee for your life again.
Well, you do make it out of there. Where is it that you make it out to?
I think into the street.
Into the street.
Because it's in the street that I think, I've got a chance of just being protected by the public.
But their eyes are on you. This is MI6. Maybe they've got control. You are in London. You are in the most CCTV place. I am going to spend that extra heat. The chase continues as you hear police sirens coming down.
Okay. Do we have a safe house in London?
You have a safe house on the outskirts of London, yeah.
So I need to get there.
Yes.
And I think, therefore, it is about...
Fictionally, I would say that you could call in one of your colleagues for, that they are not... The chase is still on. They are not currently directly on your heels. So we could easily move to a different scene where somebody is coming to help you if you wished, or you could try and do it all on your own.
I think that I am going to call on a driver. A driver called Bernie. This Bernie drives a kind of slightly kinked taxi. So I will mark stress. There it is. And Bernie will attempt to whisk me away using his offensive driving capacity and the fact that all London taxis look the same from a helicopter.
Yes.
I am going, therefore, to borrow Bernie's driver skill and add the stress die, if that's okay with you.
Yes, of course it is, yes.
And roll. I will stress, I came to the game this evening with 1 stress. I'm now on 4.
Yes, well.
And that's another 5 on the stress die. So stress will go up. But do you want to spend another?
No, I do not want to spend another intel. I think that you can arrive dropped off by Bernie at the safe house, looking pale.
Very pale, very frightened.
The other 3 are celebrating their successful operation. And, as you were driving here, you may have heard on the radio, the anti-terror police are investigating an explosion down in London's Docklands area. The criminal group known as the Playboys and the Maldi Crows have been a gangland warfare.
As soon as I hear explosion, I know that this is connected to the team. Well, more specifically to Mia.
Yes. And you're back now. But they got to the professor.
They did. So now I need to seek relief from the horror before you remove my 6th stress box. So I will shout at them. Who's got the least amount of stress right now?
They're all tied on too. Yeah, they all had a very very level sort of thing last time.
Alan, if you want to see what kind of a cakewalk it was, look at Yelena's equipment setup. That is untouched since the end of the session. Heavy loaded, use binoculars, you know.
Brilliant. Why isn't it always like that when I'm here? So I think I'm going to go to Yelena and I'm going to demand that Yelena helps me get the professor back. And just, you know, I shouldn't have been out there on my own. That's not the kind of thing I should be having to do on my own. So I would like to seek relief from the horror by behaving badly to Yelena. If that's okay, Donna.
You're not likely to bring me down into character death this time, but yeah, thanks for always thinking of me first.
It's just you're all in the same stress, and Yelena is the person I care least about. So yeah, I am going to just shout at you, and you know, the rest of you can just have the spillover from that about the fact the man who means the most in the world to me. We left him exposed, and we shouldn't have. And Yelena, you should have known better. So I've reduced stress by 1, and I'll roll the stress die on the grounds that, you know, why not? That is a 4. 4 plus an air operator. They take it really badly. Agree with them why they are so hurt by what has happened. They roll for stress.
So let me get this straight, Constantine. Your friend called you to a place that they're not usually, and you went without asking for backup.
I tried to get backup. You weren't here. You're just chasing shadows in the East End.
Finding the HMS Prosperine.
Well, that's as maybe. Damn it, I need to get him back.
What did you learn?
Almost nothing, apart from the fact that a bunch of guys flashed me MI6 passes, and they were very worried about sunlight. You know, just so you know.
So he's dead, is that what you're saying?
He's taken. He's under some kind of supernatural control of some description. I don't know. He's not. He's alive, but he's not free.
Well, we have bigger fish to fry. We can't let our personal tragedies get in the way of our mission.
We're here to stop personal tragedies, damn it.
Maybe this is not a conflict of interest at all, because if these were MI6 and what we are looking here, the HMS Prosperine was used by EDOM, which has connections to MI6 and vampires, so conceivably they might have taken him there, or we could pick up his trail there.
Conceivably, but we can't stop to figure that out. We've got to go to the HMS Prosperine before they move or scrub it.
Yeah, so bad that we have the world's most first-class hacker with us who probably couldn't figure out anything about that.
And on the TV in the background, you see Constantine's face appear. And in other news, police are asking members of the public to come forward to help with their inquiries in relation to this man, a Hungarian national. He's wanted in connection with an assault on a visiting scholar at the prestigious library. The victim is believed to be stable and under police custody. But anyone who can help them, please be warned. Constantine is armed and suspected dangerous.
They didn't even say anything about reward.
Should I hack their system and put one in?
I don't think we need that.
I think I leave them in this room of the safe house, go to another room of the safe house, and I get drunk. So I'm going to seek relief from the horror again. I will reduce stress by 1 and roll the stress dice again.
I think the way we finished off
Oh,
at
that's
the
a
end of the
6.
Nice. I think the way we finished off at the last session was that they had a sort of like semi-party kind of, celebration at the end of a successful thing, and they had
Lots of half-filled glasses.
yeah, so you probably
just
took the bottle,
pouring
right? Yeah.
Goes. So that's 6. So I've reduced stress by 1.
Mhm.
On a 4+ and the mark heat.
Back up. I tried to spend it, but you keep giving me back.
But on a 6, it was really worth it. Reduce stress by another 1. It could have been worse.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to drink myself into a state of semi-unconsciousness out of guilt and anger and frustration and panic and fear and every other negative emotion I can currently think of.
And of course, the one person that you unloaded on is the one person who also has an anchor, who has been taken by the conspiracy and is perhaps, knows pretty well that they're on they are actually on the Prosperine.
I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
So much happened last time.
There's both Mia and Dylan have managed to keep their anchors off the board for the most part. So
Does anyone come and tell the drunken Constantine that this is the case?
I mean, I was thinking about slapping some sense into Constantine myself, but
On the basis that I am now on 2 stress, albeit out of 5, that's a possibility.
yeah, but we're just trading positions then,
Yelena, just go and slap some sense into him, and then I'll catch up the pieces. It's fine. It's a very good brainwashing technique, actually. I mean, this is a really good relationship activity. Team building. That was the word I was looking for.
I love that Sabine could easily confuse team building and brainwashing. I can only dream of the organization you work as part of.
Well, first of all, that is still not me, and the organization I'm part of is a law firm. So, I mean, okay.
Does anyone want to do any more seek relief, or should we move on to the operational part of this? Yeah, Alan, because they, the entirety of the last operation was essentially get intel on the Prosperine. I gave everybody a point of intel. You weren't there, but I feel that like the benefit of doing a whole operation around retrieving intel should mean that you get a point of intel as well. Like the whole team gets a point of intel each
Thank you.
to do.
Do you get intel from rolling a 6 on seek relief or no?
No.
Sadly not.
Okay.
No, it's the only 6 that doesn't give you intel, but in the circumstances, that was sweet.
It's not the only one. You don't get it if you roll a 6 on your stress dice as well. But yeah, that felt very pedantic. I apologize. Anyways, so Operation 4. The basics of what you have to go on is the conspiracy source of AVH samples, Eva Harfish, is on HMS Prosperine, as is a new subject, which Yelena certainly has ideas about who that might be, having lost contact with her sister after she did some blood tests for GSV. And what the basic is that Prosperine is a maritime asset. It's a hub for EDOM's SBA assets. It's one of its most secretive locations. It is, as black books as EDOM could get. It is the linchpin of EDOM's success. It is what keeps this aspect of the vampire conspiracy going, because this is where they send out their highly effective special biological assets in the, the British government's secret weapon in the war on terror. And usefully, a very good way for the vampires to get their teeth into all of the security services, supposedly as weapons. But the other thing that you guys know is, of course, that the conspiracy has made great strides in recent years in its artificial vampire, genetic modifications, all of that. What is often dubbed the Eurogoths. So, EDOM appears to have at some point moved more towards these artificial vampires over, the original vampiric, the source of it, the turned people like Throndal, who had a troublesome amount of agency. And of course, this is why EDOM has probably been subverted, is because of those type of vampires who now have a flock of military people and test tube vampires of their own to deal with. But that's Prosperine. Now, I haven't defined Prosperine. I can do. You can, that's the basics of it. You all have intel to spend. You all have investigation scenes you could do using the stuff that you got off there. One of the uses of intel is to declare a detail about the operation or the location. Prosperine, I have defined some of its sort of areas, but what that is beyond a maritime place, it could be any number of, naval adjacent sort of locations. I thought I would leave that up to you to see if anybody had a particular one that they wanted to do, and I'm not going to do my usual thing of giving examples, because that usually just means that we go with the first thing I said. Who or what is the focus of the Operation Puckett?
Sorry, mute button was not unclicking. I think it's kind of obvious that we're going after the Prosperine.
Yeah.
Maybe try to rescue Yelena's sister, get data, and get out.
Wait, you don't want to blow it up. Okay, okay, who are you?
Look,
what have you done
I thought
with
that
Mia?
was a foregone conclusion.
Okay, good.
I mean, I haven't spent the last few hours researching crush depths of submarines and trying to figure out how deep a ship would have to go to hit crush depth to not blow it up.
I mean, that sounds like someone else, bracket, Yelena's sister, is the focus of this. Anything else sounds like a benefit around that.
Yeah. Is the focus of the operation rescuing Yelena's sister? Is it removing both sources of the AVH, genetic samples that they have? So Eva as well as Yelena's sister? Or is it destroying the Prosperine, the hub?
So we have to have one single main objective.
Well, it's just which is the focus, and it will go around that, and then the objective will be filled in as, the objective kind of largely revolves around what the focus is of the operation, I would say.
I mean, sorry, Puckett.
Go ahead, please.
I was just saying, I know this is your kind of decision as a player, so I don't want to step on your toes, but I think Yelena will be definitely avoiding framing it around saving her sister, given her, given what she said to Constantine. We were all aiming at the Prosperine before this happened, and we're not even certain that Maria, as characters, we're not certain that Maria is on the Prosperine.
So you, as characters, you could easily spend a point of intel to be certain that it's Maria, and to remove the possibility of me having your princesses in another castle as a complication.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Donna, if it makes
No
you feel
one,
better.
no one ever wants to spend their intel on defining these things. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
If it makes you feel better, Donna, that I was actually going to ask you that very question. A side note, and Alan, I don't know how you think about this, but if the object was retrieving Yelena's sister, what kind of complications would that cause for Constantine, given everything that's gone down?
Oh, I think that what's keeping Constantine afloat at the moment is the kind of assumption in the team that Yelena's sister is imprisoned in Prosperine somewhere. And so Constantine is hoping that in the cell next door is Mikhail Abramov. Whether he would share that or not, I'm not so certain. And when the time comes to enter that corridor and search for cells, I'm fairly confident what Constantine will be interested in finding. But I think he realizes that he's not going to get the team to focus on Mikhail, given his recent behavior.
Well, let's focus it down, okay?
Yes, the object for us, I think, is getting the AVH bloodline out of their control, which means rescuing Yelena's sister.
Okay. So who or what is somebody else, Yelena's sister? And at the moment, we can put as the operational objective is remove the AVH sources from the conspiracy.
Yeah, that is a very different objective than rescue the sister, because there is another way to remove that.
That's very true.
We can just blow the entire thing up. So,
you never know.
Well, so if I'm putting on my operational hat here, you have to affirm or confirm that the target is aboard before you can just blow it up, right? So you have to put eyes on both Maria, if she's there, and Havlik, if she is there.
Yes.
Before we can take extreme measures, right?
Yes, otherwise I will, of course, you never count the Joker as dead unless you've seen his body, right?
Yeah,
It's, yeah.
Even when you've seen his body, you can't count the Joker as down because he probably just, had somebody else in that skin.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Or it was from a different multiverse or whatever. But anyways.
Exactly.
So who or what is the focus of the operation? We can say it's someone else, and we can say Maria and Eva under this current framing, right? One of whom is probably guaranteed a more friendly outcome than the other. Let's say.
I've just inserted and or.
Yeah. And then where is the target? Now this is the bit where it's, what is the HMS Prosperine to a great extent, I would say. And I'm going to throw that over to Alan.
I want this to be, where's the target? Far away. I want to get out in the wilderness somewhere. And the detail, hang on, didn't take far away. There it is. And then the detail, I think, is going to be off a remote island.
A remote island. I like that. A remote island in the North Sea, perhaps? Or...
Off a remote Scottish island. And I'll let you fill in the details, So yeah, but I don't particularly want an oil rig in the middle of the North Sea. I want to be able to get there. I want a variety of ways to get there rather than just a helicopter or a trawler, I think is what's in my mind.
Okay. Well, you have located the Prosperine is currently docked on this remote island, which is owned entirely by the military. It's been redacted from the maps, doesn't exist. Why don't we give it a name of some kind? Why don't we call it Prospero's Island? And it is.
Can I go more Scottish?
Well, go for it. Yeah.
Gaelic Moor.
Gullickmore.
I realize I may just have offended Donna with that MHOR, because I have a suspicion that is a kind of Irish construction of language. So feel free to tinker with that.
So yes, Gullickmore, an island off the coast of Scotland, and you have yeah, so you have that. So it is a large vessel, but it is docked off the coast of, docked in the bay of Gullickmore. Does that work? Or
Anchored off a remote Scottish island, owned by the military, and doesn't appear in Ordnance Survey maps.
yeah.
Yeah.
Although it occurs to me I could get rid of the maritime thing entirely, and it could just be an outpost on the remote Scottish island if you'd prefer.
I'm very happy for it to be marine.
Okay, then yes, it's a vessel.
Because you can sink things.
Exactly, yes. Well, that was my major thought. And then Donna, what is the threat the operators will face here, based on the intel that you've got?
I don't see any options on this drop down that is lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. What have we had so far? We have had nameless organized crime pawns. We have had paramilitary pawns and pseudoscientists. I wonder, are we due for some either conspiracy special ops or supernatural servitors?
I mean, on the grounds that this is the source of the serum, I think we can expect serum enhanced servitors.
It's not the source of the serum.
Oh, that's Carfax. Sorry.
That's Carfax, yeah.
Okay. Oh, then no, I.
This is, however, the source of the SBAs. This is the hub of the SBAs.
Right. This is where they keep vampires in boxes.
Yeah. This is where they keep their tame vampires, essentially.
So they may have a break in case of emergency, So let's go with supernatural servitors, even though I'm sure we'll be regretting this. Oh, but no, it's nameless organized crime pawns, obviously. We had so much fun with them last week. But I think, there's going to be some security, right? There's, of maybe plotting Marines who don't really know what they're here for, or something like that.
Yeah, this is not the only opposition. This is just the key opposition, I would say. The one that defines the sort of expected greatest level of threat here would be the supernatural servitors, which makes sense. Because this is literally where they have all their supernatural servitors that they send out, with E Squadron as the briefing documents we have revealed.
Is it not V Squadron? Come on.
E for EDOM. Yeah.
Alan reminded of the fact that we have Steward Serum available to us as an option, if you're willing to go in that direction.
And Sabine, what do they seem to be doing, planning?
I think they are, yes, thank you, it's gone. Oh, there it is, sorry. I think they are undermining another vampire bloodline, because this is their bloodline. They love their bloodline. Other vampire bloodlines, not so much fun. So I think they are planning on doing something, maybe watering down the bloodlines or something like that. I don't know. I mean, they're, What is ATDC?
Against the Dark Conspiracy.
Okay.
Vampire the Masquerade.
Oh yeah, right.
I mean, to be honest, that's been pretty much the theme of how I've been doing EDOM anyways, is it's been Dracula's / the vampire's tool against all the other supernatural things in the world. Because he was like, oh, they want to use me as a weapon. Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Mm. Yeah, maybe they are not planning to undermine a vampire bloodline, but maybe they are trying to undermine, I don't know, a demon cult or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, all you know from this point is that they are planning to, that the Prosperine is on this island being outfitted as part of a preparations for a new set of operations by the SBAs against the conspiracy's targets, not the war on terror, but the people that they say are part of the war on terror.
Yeah.
Strange how many unassuming librarians were actually part of Al Qaeda. Okay. So, prepping for a strike against supernatural enemies is the detail at the moment. And then back around again for any investigations, prep, spending of intels, flesh it out a bit more. Prepare. You got access to quite a lot about the Prosperine. On that hard drive that was never supposed to have been here. Essentially, it was a massive fuck up by the conspiracy that it ended up in such an unsecure location. But you've got access to that. So Donna, is there anything you'd like to investigate or declare with your intel, or interesting challenge you'd like to see?
Yeah, I am angling towards the challenge. I haven't done this yet, this run. I wonder if we can see one of our Eurogoths, or just a random vampire, maybe assume that a high stress Yelena is actually a vampire herself.
Oh,
Given
nice.
that's what manifestation I chose very early on when the bloodline became extant.
So what would the challenge be? Like, what is it that you want to be seen doing that would be cool there?
I guess fooling one of these Eurogoths to lower their guard, assuming that I am one of them, essentially. Not an SBA, but a vampire.
Okay. I mean, there's certainly you have a particular bit of serum that might help in that disguise as well, given that it injects you up on vampire blood. So I would guess that would be maintaining your cover against a Eurogoth, an SBA, we should say, would be the challenge that you want to face. Yeah. So I'll write that in. Fooling an SBA as though she is one of them. Okay. That is just a spend of intel to do that.
Yeah.
Which then, but you still have an investigation or a prep. I will come back around to you.
Yeah.
Yep. Puckett.
I want to confirm that the target is on the ship.
Okay. Do you want to do that with investigation or with a spend of intel?
Let's try it with investigation first. Worst comes to worst, I'll spend the intel.
Okay.
So let's see. There's got to be some kind of server somewhere that I can, or maybe it's on the server we took. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Or at least the server that you took may have, a encryption key that allows you to break into another secure communication somewhere
Gotcha.
or other, right?
Yeah. All right, so there's my regular die, there's expertise, and as usual, stress, because why not?
So that's a 6 on the stress. No, it hasn't rolled yet. Sorry, that's
No, I
just
haven't
me.
rolled. It's Alan got a 6.
No, it's just, when you click off it, you click back on again and everything moves.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. That's a 4 on the stress die.
So stress goes up. But you do get the minimum you need to proceed, and I'll also answer one question. The minimum you need to proceed is that certainly both of the conspiracy identified subjects are currently on the Prosperine, undergoing further research. Now, would you like to, that's the bare minimum. Would you like to use that extra bit to get more?
Of course.
If you don't have a specific question, I can offer you something.
Does anybody else have an idea for a question?
I mean, what we know so far from the basic is that Eva and Subject 3 are definitely on Prosperine. Have I understood that right?
Yes.
We don't know that Subject 3 is Maria yet.
Okay, so maybe that's the extra thing. Maybe we discover that it's Maria.
Yes, it is identified. You managed to get it out from you managed to break into Dr. Chang's email server.
I thought you
where
said managed.
Yeah. Well, with the encryption key, it was supposed to be you can even get the email messages where he's saying that he's been set up with a new secure system that bitch won't even be able to get into. And he's like, good, I never want to have access to my secrets again. But then he says that it was really fortunate that we were able to get her. She's a brilliant mathematician and her work's been most helpful, but it's the blood that's really going to be useful. She'll join Subject 1.
Oh, Subject 1.
Along with, no, Subject 2, sorry, I forgot. Yelena's Subject 1, I think. No, Yelena's Subject 2, Eva's Subject 1. I forgot my own. I'm getting caught up in my own ordering number. But the one, you also get a little bit extra that they have another. Chang says that there is another guest there.
And just to tweak them a little bit, I'm going to put a file in the root directory and set it to unlock in about a year. Just to say, and you thought your system was secure. PWNT.
Okay. And we leave that little, Trojan troll waiting behind. Alan, how about you?
I want to. Yeah, I think I'll take a chance on that. I want to scry Mikhail's location. I want to confirm whether Mikhail is aboard by harnessing the dark.
Okay.
In a bit of a hungover state. So I will mark stress to harness the dark. And I will roll to investigate using harness the dark. So with stress, I'm not sure. I think the fictional positioning here is I don't think I have an expertise to apply. So I will simply roll with those 2 dice. That's a 4 and it's not on the stress die. That's a good thing.
Okay, so would you like Mikhail to be there?
I would.
Then Mikhail is there.
Therefore, he is rescuable. That 6th stress box could be mine again.
Mm-hmm.
And the other question, I think, I want to get some sense of location in this vision I conjure.
You see that Mikhail is in a med bay.
Okay.
And you can't quite see the features of the people in the room. They just appear as shadows to you. Mikhail is the only one who appears, as a full human being. Everybody else is a shadowy silhouette. And you can hear the sort of the muted voices saying, you know, he's had a bad reaction to the effect.
And I wake from the dream convinced that Mikkel is on Prosperine in a medical bay.
Yes.
Thank you. That will do me.
And then Sabine, how about you?
Now here's a question. Can I spend an intel to create the obstacle that the watchtower guys are there and Don? I mean, he knows their protocols by now, knows how they operate and what kind of leader, what kind of authority they respond well to, right? Is that something I can spend an intel for? Or is that to create this as an obstacle that I
yeah,
can
so the
overcome?
obstacle would be that you want to talk your way past the guards?
Yeah, I want to command my way past the guards.
Okay. Yeah, you'll certainly need some pretty substantial fictional positioning to do so, but that's certainly an obstacle that you can declare. That you will be able to, the guards will not be held in a remote location that you can't reach until the alarm goes off and they come out shooting. You will have an opportunity to do so.
Okay,
so yeah.
And I can fictionally position myself because chaos and suddenly somebody gives commands in a very assured voice.
No, I think I'm going to be a little bit stricter in terms of not everybody in this. We had the episode where you dealt with idiots.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be dealing with special operators who may need something a bit more than a stern voice in a panic situation.
Okay, so then I can go for a preparatory scene now and create that fictional positioning, right?
Exactly. Yes. False things, or you know, however you come at it, kind of thing.
I will come. What do I need to do here to get that?
What
spending the intel for?
So spend the intel for the complication. Command the. What would it be? Seize command of some of the Prosperine's guards.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it's not just fool them, is it? It's command them, essentially. You want to order them. Yeah. So I guess that would be a prep. You could spend.
Never done that, actually, but how did I do that? Sorry.
A prep would just be a roll, I think.
Okay.
Yes, you could bring in Dave as a.
You just may want to wait until all the investigation's done.
Oh yes,
and then preps are just before the op starts.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a tendency to get caught up in the thing that we're doing at the moment, rather than stick to the routine. So we'll put a pin in that one.
Okay.
And then I will return to Donna for their investigation or prep choice.
I'll be honest with you, we don't know a lot about this.
We don't.
We know kind of where it is, and we're expecting there to be a bunch of watchtower guards or something similar. And we know that there are some prisoners.
And remind me, Alan, when you were establishing place,
Medbay.
But we definitely decided it was a vessel, right? A vessel moored or anchored off.
Yeah.
Was it anchored or was it moored?
I think I ended up writing anchored off the coast of.
Yeah, I want.
But because you said that you specifically didn't want to only have a boat and a helipad to be the only ways of getting on, I will say that it's probably docked to some degree. You know, isn't it like you could walk? You don't need to get a boat out to get on it, just because that's what you said. So I don't want to.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Unless you feel like scuba.
Hey, the entire time I played this game, we've never had a scuba scene. Oh no, that's a lie. We did have a scuba scene when we went to Greece that time, I think. Yeah, no, we swam out. That was it, not in. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And sorry, we didn't decide what kind of vessel it was, did we?
You haven't done the research to find out.
Okay. So I guess I'm angling to find out, what kind of vessel it would be and what our best means of ingress are, hidden at least, regardless of commanding the guards,
Okay.
or maybe as a backup to commanding the guards.
Yeah. Would you like to roll an investigation
Yeah.
using the intel that you've scrubbed from the servers?
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any of your expertise particularly come into function here.
No. I mean, unless it's because I'm like looking at how to get into a vehicle.
I
A
was
submarine
tempted
is,
to.
or a cruiser from World War One is still a vehicle, right?
It's true.
I'm mostly joking.
The thought crossed my mind as well.
Seems a stretch.
Yeah. I think perhaps if you phrased it more as like, what's a good way for me to get on board with these new jet skis that I've got, or whatever, right? Like it might be more leaning towards that. But the more broader level, I think it's just a flat roll unless you include your stress or.
Yeah, I'll take a flat roll. I'll investigate. It's a 5.
That's a 5.
Yeah.
Nice. On a 5, it is it's like a large frigate style boat. Not huge, but substantial, big enough, still capable of coming into shallower waters like this. It's listed as a decommissioned one, so it doesn't really contain any like particularly visible weaponry. In fact, it sails under a private heading, often changing out its HMS Prosperine tags for HGD Shipping's boat. But with that 5, I can give you the floor plans if you'd like.
Yeah, I think that's worth an extra question, right?
There we go. They are underneath the operational thing and beneath other details.
Okay.
You have a helipad on the main upper deck. You have a helipad, a comms room, a disguised SAM launcher, deal with any threats, a cargo lift, and a secure elevator, and a watchtower. And you can see that from the upper deck down to the main deck are connected by the secure elevator, and then the main deck and the lower deck are connected by a different secure elevator, by secure elevator B, whereas the upper deck is connected to the lower deck by the cargo lift. So there is a secure cargo lift from the upper deck down to the bottom, and then transit through the main floor is through 2 different secure lifts. And
or
it being
traditional stairs, right?
Well, you'd have to push your luck with the stairs, I think.
How so?
They are very heavily locked down on this boat. Okay. In fact, you get the impression looking at the floor plans is that there is some level of quarantecture going on, as in how might you seal off sections of this boat if it was needed to do so. This boat, and you know what you get from the thing is that this boat was originally designed, and how that purpose may have drifted, but this was definitely designed as EDOM's captive pet store of pet vampires, essentially. This is where they kept all of what they viewed as weapons. And everybody on board the ship was originally just meant to be babysitting them. But the use appears to have been expanded by the conspiracy because they know that this is the one place that nobody else can get eyes on, no matter what. Even Carfax is not as secure as Prosperine. Okay, cool. But there will be stairs and ladders and things that you can do. They maybe require you to have some sort of cutting tool or something to get through. But this is how things operate in normal operations. Everybody uses the lifts. Nobody uses the stairs.
Okay, cool.
Thank you very much for the pictures.
Yes, I thought I'd go with a real island. What is Google Maps for if it's not for coming up with a real place out there in the Outer Hebrides?
nice. And this is when we find out that someone here has spent a holiday in Haskasay, and it's wildly inaccurate to have it. Okay, does that feel fair, Donna, to have all of that from your thing? Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
And then back over to Puckett. Do you want to spend your intel on anything, Puckett?
You know, for once, I think I do.
Okay.
The cool thing that I want to be seen doing is taking control of the bridge.
Taking control of the bridge, which on the floor plans, so there is the bridge, should add to the upper deck actually. The bridge is on the thing. So there is the bridge, and then there is ops as well in the middle on the main deck. Would you prefer control of the ship as a vessel, or would you prefer control of perhaps its internal systems and security measures and things? Because of the,
The short version is yes, but more specifically,
why don't I put your obstacle complication would be seizing control of a key secure system of the Prosperine.
yeah, because my goal ultimately is not to rescue. My goal is to send this thing out to sea, to a deep enough part of the ocean where crush depth is going to take care of every single thing in it, and then blow it to hell.
Yeah.
So, but I also want to make sure that I can close doors and keep them shut for the people who are doing the work.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, that sounds like you want the bridge.
Yeah.
Because you definitely want to seize control of the Prosperine's bridge.
I don't have any like lofty goals or anything like that. I figured that's just like what, milk run maybe.
This autopilot.
And I will remove one of my intel for that.
Okay. And then Alan, anything for you?
Well, if I had a lot of intel, of course, I'd be very interested in spending it, but I think I'll sit on the one I've got.
Fair enough. And then Sabine, you can spend more intel. I don't think there's a cap, is there, on spending intel, Alan? No? Or
No, I'm good. I'm good with the intel I spend.
okay.
Never know when you might need it on the off, right?
I mean, certainly not if you don't spend it beforehand, then you won't know what you might need it for. But yeah, should we do everyone okay if we just do the quick 5-minute of the Sabine's prep scene, and then we will roll straight into the operation after a break? Yeah. So how is Dylan preparing for to have this ability to command the Prosperine's troops? I think that's a very good disguise to be part of E Squadron. You do have E Squadron's briefing documents and perhaps more from this. So
I have a Dave.
You have a Dave as well. You do have a Dave. Yeah, I do remember.
And
Dave.
he was part of the Watchtower security. So yeah, I will quiz him, and then I will maybe require some help in constructing an identity there. Just someone who is in the security biz and who can give my my fake identity lend some credibility to what I'm claiming, who I'm claiming to be.
Yes. Well, Dave can hook you up entirely. Dave has served with these E Squadron guys. Dave could even be on site.
Yeah, that would be the best.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah.
So, Alan, do you always need to do a roll for a prep scene?
Oh yeah, because level of success is important to know.
Right.
Okay, so I think that would be a do something
cost
else.
of failure. Basically, they should always succeed, but you should always offer success at a cost.
Yeah. So why don't we do something else with a tradecraft? I think this is about you and Dave being able to communicate to set things up. You know, you can take it as read with your disguise your false face specialism that you've got access to the appropriate
Yeah,
disguise,
I
but it's all
think I-
about Dave laying the groundwork for you, you know?
Yeah, but I can't use my expertise because of the, you know?
True.
You can spend intel to get that expertise
Right.
back.
Oh, right. Maybe I will do that. Yeah, I think I will do that. I will spend intel to get my expertise back, because I mean, I might conceivably get stress on this, but I don't pretend. No, I think that I'm good. I'm spending intel to get my expertise back, because come on, I remember from our operations what these guys are like, and it's not something I want to face with a hangover. So yeah, and I'm rolling. What am I rolling? I'm rolling with expertise, clearly, and I'm rolling the gray die, and then I can roll stress into it, right? I will roll stress into that, because that is important to have that. Come on, come on. Yeah, there's a 6 on the expertise dice. See?
Nice.
Do I need to roll for stress now, right?
You do,
Because
yes.
of the 6. Cool. Roll me a 1. No, it's a 3. Stress goes up. Fine, fine. And I get another intel.
You get another intel. And yeah, so Dave has been assigned to pulled to the Prosperine. You know, it was Watchtower Consultancy is providing, has had the rare opportunity to take one of its SBAs from HED shipping all the way back to the Prosperine directly while it's undergoing this refit on the island. And you're managed to communicate securely between you two. But Dave, you know, the thing that stresses you out is that Dave is kind of nervous and kind of bad at this tradecraft, but you roll with it because you can walk him through. You're a professional.
Yeah,
yeah.
right. This will be fine.
Yeah. So you have enough credibility to be, you know, like a conspiracy handler kind of thing, like at least briefly. So should we take our first break and then return? So 5 or 10 minutes, what would people like?
Let's do 10.
Yeah, 10?
Yeah.
Cool, 25 past then. See you guys soon. So now it's just a question of getting onto the Prosperine. We should confirm that our objective remains remove the AVH source from the conspiracy. Does that seem fair? And okay, so I'm going to go in reverse character key for order. And everyone feel free to defer if they would like to.
You may just want to check in on load.
Oh, on load, yes. What load would everyone like to declare? Starting with you.
I'm going light.
You're going light. Okay. Mia?
Heavy, as always.
Heavy as always. Okay. Dylan?
I'm going medium because I'm selling mercenary operator basically, and that means that I have to be kitted up a bit.
And Yelena?
I'm tempted to go heavy. I feel like I may have to kick some ass this session.
Can I just check in? We've still got 2 blown
yes, so you
contacts.
Cannot. So Leona Muller, they have is not blown. She's just dead. Yes, which is why she's crossed out. So the only blown contact you have is a hacker at the moment.
Okay, so the person whose contact that is cannot call on a contact, and none of us can call on a hacker.
So,
though of course Mia would be offended if we did.
Is that the rule? Because that wasn't the rule last week.
Oh, I see.
I mean,
no, that should be the rule. I just yeah. I'm just bad at messing with the heat stuff, I'll be honest with you. Keeping track of it all, but that is the rule. Alan's
really quickly, if you want to have an assault rifle, you need to choose heavy load, correct?
Medium.
Okay, medium. Okay, I wanted to just double checking on that.
if you want to have a heavy machine gun, heavy allows you to choose anything that is 3 boxes in size. Medium allows you to choose things that are 2 boxes in size. Light only allows you to choose things that are 1 box in size, I
Got
believe,
it.
right?
Sorry, I just checked the rule. An operator with a blown contact cannot call on any contact until after the next downtime, as they are too hot to deal with. None of the team can call on that type of contact that is blown while they are blown.
So it is the way we played it last time. I inadvertently
Sorry.
played it the right way, and Alan has inadvertently corrected us the wrong way. Who's writing this game? I swear, it's ridiculous. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, so no hackers. So there's no re-rolls on any of Mia's rolls, basically. Okay. So, Alan, how's Konstantin going to approach this? And obviously, feel free to defer or call in other operators.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely deferring. This is far too operational for Konstantin. Konstantin is looking around thinking, who do I follow?
A lost dog. Yeah.
And then if it seems like no one wants him to follow them, then he'll think about what he does.
Then I'm going to wrap around to Yelena, just because this is perhaps one opportunity where Yelena is not going to be on Overwatch with a big gun waiting outside for people to fail their rolls.
It's true. But I think, Sabine, you're basically going to walk in, right, to maintain your cover, or are you?
I mean, we have Dave on board of the ship. I think we've posited that.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can just get Dave to ship us over. Or maybe we can get Dave to ship himself over and we will attach ourselves to the boat in classic scuba gear, because I have never done a scuba incursion. I've played this game a lot, so I want to see everyone get wet, I guess. I don't know. Mia's new hair might look better.
Well, how about a classic two-pronged attack or approach then? The sensible people go in a Zodiac, and the not sensible people scuba to the other end of the ship.
So should we say that Dave is, you will get on Dave's Zodiac as he goes across to the Prosperine, and Dylan will be on deck with him. Is that right? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense, right?
Yeah. As a high-ranking private consultant.
Mm-hmm.
And who else is going to be on that boat, do you think? Mia, will you be on the boat?
I definitely am not getting into scuba gear. That would seem to be an obvious disaster.
I'm taking the hot guy.
Okay, so
He'll get it. He'll get wet eventually.
Konstantin and Dylan with Dave on the boat.
Perfect.
Yelena diving. How about Mia? What's Mia doing?
You know what? Just to add to the fun, can I come in on a helicopter?
What's your fictional positioning for that?
I suppose I do need fictional positioning for it, don't I?
You can come in on a helicopter at the moment. If you come in on a helicopter, you'll be shot out of the sky.
Fair. In that case, a boat sounds more reasonable, since the worst that can happen to a boat is to be shot into the water, which is like, a few, couple feet below us, maybe. Yeah, boat seems good.
I mean, for what it's worth, Leander-class frigates do have a helicopter on board. Whether it is present or not is a different question.
There is a helicopter on the pad. The upper deck appears to have been modified slightly. There is space for 2 helicopters on board here. You get the impression that this is the sort of the Prosperine's, designated air transport. Also appears to currently be undergoing some sort of maintenance. So that means Yelena is doing the tactical infiltration via the water.
I I mean, I guess I'm wondering, does it make sense if we all go in the boat? I save myself 2 load.
You save yourself 2 load, but this is a very restricted area. Dylan has got the fictional positioning to perhaps move past, some of this, but not enough to explain away everyone bringing aboard lots of heavy gear, I would say. Mia's heavy gear is certainly going to cause some questions when she arrives on that boat.
I mean, Constantine can be my personal assistant, but yeah. I don't know, maybe you're better off with the scuba thing because the eyes will be on me and Constantine. Yeah, not that I don't want you in my boat, of course.
That's fair. Yeah, so maybe I'll go with scuba, and I'll make 4 load go far. So I'll have to downgrade to a submachine gun. Who needs an assault rifle clearing a boat anyway, right?
I mean, it's not as good as a submachine gun if you're clearing a boat, to be perfectly honest. Yeah.
Here's a question. Can an operator use their load to give something to another operator?
Yes, you can do, yes.
Okay, so in theory, I could take like an assault rifle out of my gear and hand it to Yelena.
I'd allow that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. However,
or just the load points, maybe.
Scuba gear is a piece of tech equipment and explosives. So we once again marking that as our safe house benefit.
You could do that. Or I can call Bear for the cook-up on that if you wanted to save naming what the safe house benefit is.
It's a stress or a free tick.
I mean, you also need the scuba gear. And I don't think Bear, who has explosives, has scuba gear.
Bear does not have a scuba gear. But
Bear is an explosives expert. Who knows? I might know somebody who runs a diving company.
Can we just focus on that mechanically? What do people want to do? Stress or tick a box? I personally do not understand the reluctance to tick a box. Because last time we spent the entire session back and forth between you. Neither of you wanting to be rude and tick the box, and it never got ticked in the end. So.
Well, we didn't need it.
Well, yes, I know, but because you rolled for stress. But in the interest of cutting this Gordian knot, choose one mechanic, one resource or the other, I would say.
So the scuba gear would count as the safe house benefit?
Yeah, well, I mean, scuba gear, any other piece of techie sort of like gadgety sort of stuff would fit in there as well.
In which case we're saying we can upbring any decent weapon.
Unless you call in a contact.
I imagine that I don't know. I think
we're going to need weapons.
I feel like the insertion is the only requirement I have for scuba gear.
Exactly.
So I'll go in the boat. We're going to trust Dylan's talking, and then we're going to kill anyone who doesn't do what we say.
Okay. Everyone's going on the boat. There we go.
I think I have an idea how I can explain away to good-looking young women. I don't think you will like it. I mean, I won't like it because the only one I want to see in skimpy clothes is this guy here. But
well, let's see how it goes as the Zodiac goes across. Dave, there's a anonymous driver wearing a balaclava. The wind is whipping across. It's cold. It's dark. There are clouds overhead, and Dave shouts through the comms. The secure ones. He goes like, "Well,
just 1 second. Why is it dark? I mean, just to say we're fighting vampires. Why don't we go in during daytime? Or is it just dark because?
Well, that ain't the window. They won't let me on here in daytime.
Okay, fair enough. Just okay.
They do all. They don't take any. I mean, you can go in the day if you want, but I ain't gonna be able to get you on there.
Okay, it's fine. Thank you. Just for the clarification.
expertise is never allowed when you got heavy loaded.
I hit return when I wanted to hit another line.
Yes, I thought so, yeah, because
yeah.
it's for fleeing and for chasing
When-
down, right? Yeah, for fast movement, essentially. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was like, oof. No one flees anyway, so you're the only person I've seen flee
Okay.
this game. Yeah.
We fled last week, right, in the car. Right?
That's true. Yeah, you did. Only because it was the police rather than the gangsters, I think, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And yeah, you pull up alongside the Prosperine along a gantry, that's extended down. The Zodiac is brought in, and it takes you up to the upper deck where the wind howls, and 2 members of E Squadron. You can see they look like heavily armed bastards. Come out and they nod at Dave. Dave gives over the proper code sign and he looks back at you, and one of them says, "We weren't expecting any equipment. What's in the bags?"
It's equipment for our outfit. This is not the last stop on our journey, and we don't trust people to have it somewhere in a hotel. You know what I mean?
Perfectly understand, chap. You, miss. Down, open up. The other guy steps back. All due process, you understand, dear boy? And Dave goes, "Well, I don't know how you guys like to run a tight ship. So, Mia, you're up first. They're going to root through your bags."
All right. Now let me go ahead and roll here because, as usual, I've got the stuff concealed. Let's see how well it goes. Considering that my expertise is about, tech stuff, can I use my expertise on this?
Technical. No?
No, heavy load counts for fleeing, etc., and maintain cover.
Oh, yes, of course.
As it says in the rules, a tactical
yes.
harness and a big backpack is difficult to explain.
Well, I have not been playing that properly this entire thing because Mia has brought heavy load onto every location.
It's the reason why heavy load is a risk.
Yes, yeah. Well, I have been thinking, God, I'm far too nice when it comes to Mia bringing around an entire wardrobe
I
with
mean,
wherever she goes.
It feels like my computer gear should count as 2 boxes. So, all right, so no expertise. Got a 6 on the gray die anyway.
Nice.
It doesn't hurt that Puckett rolls like fire in this series.
Mhm.
Never goes more than 2 rolls without regaining all of his lost intel.
All right, so I add intel, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And I need to roll the stress die.
Need to roll for stress, I think, as they reach
Yeah.
across the hard case of your bags, and his fingers stop just at the point where the latch is.
All righty, so my stress is at 3. I rolled a 3, so that means my stress goes to 4.
And then
but I still got a 6.
you still got a 6, so you get your intel.
Yep.
Roll for stress goes up if you exceed your current stress.
I thought it was
see.
equal to or above.
Roll for stress is different from if your stress dice is equal to or higher.
I
Okay.
see. Yeah.
All right, so I don't add stress.
You don't add stress, no.
All right.
But you breathe, you let out your breath as he stands up and goes, "Well, just nerd stuff, the usual." And I'm going to allow that roll to go for Yelena's compartment as well, in terms of the gear. But he is going to come over and say, "We weren't expecting this many either. Who are these?"
Or men. The girls.
Yes,
They're my nerds.
they are nerds. This one is this one, and he eyes up Yelena.
Look, I'm a norm. Do I really have to explain it to you?
That's not the sort of
I think it would
operation
be
we're
much
running
more
here.
convincing if I put in a new character image for Yelena.
Mhm. It's all gone to bloody rot since we let this lot in. don't agree with this privatization of the armed forces. It's, what happened to honor, duty, country?
Money.
Well, yes, that is rather nice.
Is he in the armed forces of the United Kingdom? Just checking, just so I can probably see from his uniform that he's
Oh,
not,
yes.
right?
No, they are, yes.
Oh,
They are
they
entirely.
are, okay, nice. Okay, then I won't be that snarky.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just say money.
I mean, let's out a suffering sigh. Well, you do get results. I'll give you that.
Oh,
Go on, bloody mercenaries.
Thank
You
you
can
for
carry your
his-
own gear.
Yeah, thank you for your service.
Chang is down in the labs. I'll be expecting you.
Good.
He'll let you on
Mhm.
forward as they go off, and he looks at Dave and, you know, makes it very clear with his body language that anything that you guys get up to, Dave's going to be the one who's going to pay for it.
Oh, we need to protect poor Dave. Chang is the guy that we met in Shanghai, right?
Mhm.
Oh, he has probably a good chance at recognizing me. Damn it. Okay.
Someone on site has history of one of the operators. What
Oh,
happens next depends on the nature of that history. That's my first complication.
that's a nice complication.
Mm-hmm. So, you guys have, you know, entry into the upper decks. On the upper decks, you have entry onto the main deck. You're expected to go to Chang. What are you actually going to do as they shut you into the secure elevator, and Dave swipes a card and it begins to go down. And he'll reach into his thing and he'll throw you one of those cards, Dylan, and he'll say, "I've only got the one that goes for this one. You know, this was Mr. Longshore's, but I guess he won't be needing it anymore."
Which way's the sick bay, Dave? Because that's where Chang will be.
Well,
There's a med bay on the main deck.
Yeah. Well, the med bay, it's right by the labs, actually. In fact, the two are kind of connected.
So when we come out of this lift, which way do we go?
Well, med bay's over that way. But I heard y'all were trying to rescue somebody. I think, well, special cells are down on the lower decks, that way. And he points the other direction. Of course, you know, the two objectives must always be at opposite ends of the boat, right?
Sure thing.
Constantine will put himself as the last person out of the lift.
Okay.
Where are the Longshore guys? Because I need to get them on board with the fact that we're taking over this boat.
Oh, what you mean, my guys? Watchtower
Sure.
guys? Well, they're well, shit, they're on armory duty.
Good, great.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of those. Well, I think they're like SAS or something. But there's a whole bunch of those guys on here. Like, I don't know, 4 at any given time, I'd say. And then they don't let us down in the basements. Then you got, and he points to some other guys who are sort of dealing with it, you know, fixing a light somewhere. And he goes, then you got the crew, and then you got well, we got Chang and his men from GSV, and all those fucking things down in the basement.
That's why we need somebody on our side with a lot of guns that will help us get out of here again.
Well, all right, but I mean, I'm not sure we can get off route. You know, they do keep eyes on that too.
Yeah, I understand. It's basically what we will be doing is a distraction.
Okay, well,
for
follow me
mental
then.
Chaos.
Well, follow me then, Captain. I guess, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, just stay with Sir. I'm a consultant. Military titles don't mean anything to me.
All right. And he looks at the rest of you and he goes, good luck, I guess.
Mhm.
As Dylan and Dave
I will
head off
actually kind
to the
of
armory.
lean up and peck to give Dave a peck on the cheek.
Perfect cover.
And he smiles and like, you know, something like disbelief. He'd sort of talked himself around to thinking that was, you know, what a fool I was chasing after that girl. But now he's like, you see a look of hope in his eyes as he walks off and he winks at you. Yelena.
So I guess the question is, are we gonna split up? And if so, how? I guess lower deck seems like the more dangerous place to go, so I'm happy to lead that element.
Well, you're heading off to the lower decks. That's going to require getting through the secure elevator B or working out some way to go through the sealed access routes hatches.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the way to secure elevator B is through the med bay and the labs. So maybe
No,
we
it's the
pick
other
up
way. Nope, it's the opposite way. They're not in a, they're not in an order of location.
Oh, okay.
They're sorry, they're written down in the order that they came to me, essentially.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But so I get the impression that Constantine is going to slip off and try and rescue his
That was the plan.
yes.
I was assuming they were going to head towards the lower decks where the prisoners are kept.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to just not follow them.
Mm-hmm. And I would like to facilitate Alan's dramatic choice for his character, I think. To be dude turns off the comms as he slips off, right?
And heads down that central kind of gangway corridor in the direction that Dave says the med bay is.
Yelena, Mia.
I need the bridge. I mean, that's where I can control stuff from, right?
There's the ops room, which is the sort of you know, brain of the ship systems. And then there is the bridge, which is the, you know, where you actually drive the ship from. The difference between the mechanical and the, you know,
Digital.
the digital,
So,
yeah.
can I make a suggestion?
Please.
So you want to, I guess your initial idea was twofold, Puckett. One was to take control of the bridge so you can drive the ship into the middle of nowhere and drop it in a trench.
Yep.
And the other one was to kind of control the doors and all of that stuff, right?
Support the operation, yeah.
Yeah. And that would be from ops.
Yep.
So
I'm
how
heading to
about
ops first.
Yeah, so we all go to ops, and then we move on from there. And getting ops will open up, presumably, secure elevator B, and we work from there. And then maybe Constantine does his slip off to medbay routine.
While you're all busy.
Mm-hmm. In fact, as you go down the corridors towards ops, you know, we do pass the one that says medbay this way, and you just see those 6 pairs, you know, those 6 feet suddenly turn into 4 as it's going down the corridor, and Constantine slips away.
Is who's on roller skates?
It's the piggyback that you got to watch out for.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So why don't we cut to, I feel like, let's follow Constantine. as he slips over to the med bay. And the med bay is an open room, and then through the back you have the labs, which it's all part of the same facility, but the labs are sort of secured by this sort of perspex screen across one side of it. Like the med bay's been divided in half essentially. Looks like it's a relatively new construction. It doesn't seem as though EDOM used to use the Prosperine for this sort of work in the past. And sure enough, as you go around, you can see that there is a member of E Squadron stood on the door. As you duck around the corridor, you can duck back against the wall as he's on guard. And you can see that there are people inside the lab.
And I'm just going to breeze up to this guy and say, I'm here to see Dr. Chang. Thank you. And go past him.
Maintain your cover?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
With what?
With what?
With almost nothing, it seems to me. I think, I'm going to make a case for corporate.
I was going to make a case for corporate.
I
Because
think
you can reel off shit about GSV,
yeah,
he will think that you're part of that, and he will roll his eyes at this disgusting degradation of his noble.
Exactly, more
military duty.
privatization.
Yeah.
But I'm going to leave the stress die out at this point. So just roll the 2 dice. That's 1 and a 5. So I'm hoping I just breeze past him with a couple of mouthfuls of corporate gobbledygook.
He just cuts you off as you're saying it, and he just says, "I don't give a shit, mate. Go through. The sooner you got Laura off my boat, the better."
And in we go. In he goes.
He
Fine.
goes, fucking bloodsuckers. And of course, as you go through, you see in the room there is a professor, and he is handcuffed to a bed. He appears to be on an IV of some kind. He appears unconscious but stable. And in the lab on the other side, you can see another 2 figures this time, both handcuffed to their beds. And one of them is a very sickly looking young woman who has all kinds of tubes and IVs going out of her. You recognize Eva.
Shit. They're not locked up downstairs.
Well, Eva has been here for a while, and she has been the conspiracy's only source of it. So they've had to move her up here for
just to maintain her. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're bleeding her a lot, I'm guessing.
And in the other bed, on the other side of the room, underneath a very bright light, handcuffed to both sides of the bed, is a familiar figure, Mr. Longshore.
Oh, it's Walt. Oh wow. Is Chang here? Any sign of Chang?
You can ask the guard. You expected to meet Dr. Chang here?
That was my
He just stepped out for a piss, mate.
Okay. And I think, oh gosh, I mean, I've got no idea how in any way to determine if Professor Obramov is mobile or not. Is he awake?
Why don't you investigate?
Yeah, why don't I? I have no expertise at this kind of thing at all, so I'll just roll the grey dice. That's a 6.
That's a 6. Mark intel.
Intel.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
And what I will say is that he is awake. He is stable. He appears to be befuddled. He was in a state of, you can get his notes, and it says that SBA subversion has led to a state of shock, decreased, a temporary period of bewilderment. He is weak, but he is stable, and you can, with the extra benefit I'll offer you, is that all you would need is a shot of adrenaline, which is kept in that lab.
Okay, so I really have no choice, but I cut while Constantine looks at the lab door, because I don't know what I'm going to do.
Yes, something fearfully looks at the lab door as we hear a toilet flush down the corridor.
And I'd better roll for stress, hadn't I?
Oh yes, yeah. Well, that's what I was going for with the reason why you are stressful is the.
That's a 1, so I'll stick to my current stress.
Nice. Sometimes it happens. Meanwhile, Yelena, Mia, or because I want to see where Yelena and Mia are going, and then I'm going to cut over to Dylan to see how it goes with the initial talk with the people in the armory. So Yelena, Mia, what's your approach for the ops room?
I thought we were all going to ops, no?
Oh, is Dylan going with you as well? Or is Dylan heading off to the armory to go and try and get Watchtower consultancy guys?
Was my plan, yes.
Okay,
That was your
sorry,
plan, yes.
I missed that. So yeah, let's walk through to ops.
And my approach is just chewing some gum, looking like I'm just supposed to be here. This is routine. Because, I mean, system upgrades, right?
Yeah, I think like we're lugging the bags in, and we kind of, whoever looks up the challenges first gets asked, where do we put it? You know, where do you want it? You know, and then we'll surprise them when we unzip it, right?
This isn't on the books.
Come on, man.
This whole place is not on the books.
Do they ever tell you when they're like, this always happens. They never tell people when they're sending me to do system updates. They never tell you guys. It's got to be frustrating for you.
I'm just going to call this in. Maintain your cover to convince him to empathize with a guy who is essentially a Navy tech. You know, he is in your position on the military side of, on this, you know, the special government.
So I assume expertise die comes into play here?
What expertise would that be?
Computers.
Computers. I think they would have done the hack, but not for the maintaining your cover. I don't think.
Oh, hell.
I
didn't know if I could use it to like just basically talk tech to him and use that to maintain the cover.
Some IT empathy might go a long way here. Otherwise, I can just use tradecraft, right?
I think I'm pushing more towards Yelena to be the one, because Mia,
okay,
you are convincing enough. It's Yelena who is clearly holding you know, that computer in a way that no one who knows anything about computers would have held it. You know, you're holding it by the battery pack. What's going on there? Like, maintaining cover doesn't work with heavy loadout as well as expertise anyways, so it's inconsequential. And you've both taken heavy. Sabine gets a Benny for remembering that.
Alan, you should really write a second edition based on all of our all the rules you and we have forgotten are obviously not necessary. So I guess I'm rolling 1 die.
1 die, unless you want to include your stress.
No, thank you. That's a 2.
That is a 2. Okay, we cut across to Dylan as the guy goes like, yeah. Look, one thing that doesn't add up about all of this, right, is that you clearly know what you're talking about, but why the fuck is she holding that by its lithium-ion battery pack? And then cut. Dylan, Dave is looking around and he's like, all right, we got just a couple of guys. They're a bit short-handed around here. They say they're stretched, so they brought us in. We're only really like babysitting things here. Don't trust us with the SBA storage. But yeah, I got Marty and Phil.
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
God, I never knew what happened to Jeff and Walt.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it was probably terrible.
Yeah. You telling me? God, if I ever find a bastard who took out Walt, I'll kill him with my own hands. He was a good man. Well, maybe he wasn't a good man, but he was a loyal man.
Yeah, he seemed to have the shit under his control. That's for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me talk to them. It's fine, Dave. It's gonna be fine. Do you have any interest? Have you ever had any interest in going away from that kind of sector you're working in currently and branching out? Let's talk about that later.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely been reconsidering my career path. I'll give you, I can level with you there. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I have an opportunity for you there. If we make it out alive, that is.
All right. So he comes in, and the armory is locked down. Dave and his men don't have the keys to it. They are just essentially like security goons for this. This is a place that they've been told to stand guard over. They've got their sidearms. Phil and Marty sketch a brief salute, and yeah, they go like, "I didn't realize head office was sending anyone."
No, you never know. Look, folks, let's talk away from other ears right now, because there's a thing.
Okay. What's the plan?
You're highly trained operatives, aren't you?
Well,
you're
yeah.
basically standing guard on a door. That's not right. These guys are fucking it up, all of it.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest. I prefer standing on a door than I do standing next to one of those boxes.
Yeah, I get you. I hear you. But still, I want to show these guys something about watchtower security here. They need to learn a lesson. You in? Of course you're in. Let me tell you, there is very good financial compensation for that. Look at my watch, and then you will see a number, and that's what I'm talking about. And I'll have a high number on my Apple Watch or whatever. Yeah, I have an Apple Watch. I'm not kind of this operative is that kind of guy.
Okay, so you are essentially saying that Watchtower Consultancy has had a higher offer, perhaps from somewhere else, and that this is now the job, not the job that they were originally hired for. You've got a better job for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Roll me your command now to your persuasion, even.
Persuasion, right?
Persuasion,
okay.
Yes.
So I have this die, and I have this die, and then this die. No, I still have this die. And I'm rolling. Come on, dice, be nice to me. Well, there is a 4 on the stress die, which is the highest, but I can use my expertise on that, right? To improve the outcome.
Yes, you can do. Is your false face, I guess? Yeah.
I think that is the best use I will get for that.
Yeah, so spend a stress to increase your thing by 1.
And I have to roll for stress because, stress die is the highest, means stress goes up automatically. Okay, then I'm at 5, and I'm spending an intel to not be at 5.
Good point. I like that you ticked it and then unticked it. I appreciate whenever I see people do the meaningless pedantry of it all.
I love ticking these little boxes.
I do exactly the same.
Okay.
You got another penny. So
that's 2.
That's 2. That was a do something else. You succeed with no obvious complication or benefit. Did you? But your stress was the 4, right? And so now it's up to 6.
Wait, it's up to 6, right?
Yeah. So you succeed brilliantly. What's the extra benefit that you get?
Do I get intel, or is that?
No, you don't get intel unless you roll a 4 or 6.
Yeah, that's okay. That's fine. That's fair. I didn't expect it, but I thought I'd ask. What's the extra effect? Is that these guys are actually there? Yeah, I always wanted to do that. Like these guys over there, they really bug the hell out of me, treating us like we're doormats. We'll show them.
This whole thing never sat right with me. Whatever the hell is in those boxes, the things that they send us out to do. I just want to, Dave, you were right. This is all wrong. I'm so glad we're taking, and if we can get paid to do something else, then by God, let's do it. And Dave's like, hell yeah, man, nice one.
So let's take over the armory.
Yeah. And the extra benefit will be that the guy says, shit, I can get us into one of these things, no problem. And he's able to crack open one of the weapons lockers and get out a pair of shotguns, perhaps something a bit more heavily armed than just the handguns. So you are now loaded up. As we cut back to Yelena.
The reason I hold it here is in case it gets too hot. But the other hand is what you have to worry about. pointing the pistol at his head.
Well, that explains a few things, doesn't it?
So step away from the thingamajig.
Fine. You know, you're not going to get anywhere with this. He steps back.
And I think I will wait for Mia to do her stuff.
Yelena, we probably need him restrained somehow.
I don't know, Ziploc ties for this guy's hands.
And that's
Come
what
at a
you
load, or
no, they'll allow you to have that as a you know what, actually, do we have, no, we don't have handcuffs. What a thing not to have had in the drop down thing. I think a Ziploc, I think handcuffs is a one thing, and it gives you enough to have zip ties for everybody to have, you know, for enough people, anybody you wish to zip tie. Mainly, I just need to start making you guys spend some of your gear, because every session I always end up not having you spend any of your gear, and you all resist it very badly whenever I say. So this time I'm going to be a bit cruel and say you have to declare one gear if you're going to have handcuffs.
All right. So
and he is just a Navy guy, right? He is one of the crew.
He's one of the crew of the Prosperine.
Okay, so not Watchtower, and not someone who knows exactly what he's into, right?
No.
Okay. So I will be zip tying, quote unquote, innocents.
Yeah.
I
Fair.
don't. Yes, I will write that one in. Not entirely a cold-blooded color.
No. Mia, would you like to hack the systems?
Oh, I would love to hack the systems.
Okay, declare your computer.
Okay. And if I remember right, my computer was 2 spaces.
Okay, we'll say on the drop down. I think it's a laptop.
Yeah. Oh,
Just
only
the one.
Okay. So there's one, and the box is ticked for it.
Mm-hmm.
And going back over to roll with me, I'm going to roll all 3.
Mm-hmm.
6 on the stress die.
Amazing. So
Stress goes up.
Stress
and
goes
so
up.
does Intel.
So does Intel. But you gain control of the ops room. So you have control of the digital systems. You can create new ID cards. You can activate the UV lighting.
Got cameras, I'm sure.
Yeah, got cameras, control, and you have that nice view of the upper deck as a helicopter comes in and lands. And I'm going to mark my second complication. It's a setup.
And by the way,
everything you learned here to get here was a trap. You're in the conspiracy's crosshairs.
Well, they think it's a trap. And just so you know, I unticked the Intel and unticked the stress box because, well,
you're just going to 1-for-1 untick and yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. And of course, you have, as the extra benefit, you can disable the alarm that was about to go out from the system as a helicopter approaches.
Because I'm sure the guy probably hit a button or something like that before he stood up. So yeah, it's shut down.
The SAM is also not operational from the ops room, sadly. They did decide that that was perhaps one thing that we would really not want a hacker to have access to in the inevitable situation that it did occur. Humans need to fire that gun. Okay, so How about Konstantin? Muted.
Yeah. Konstantin is going to apply adrenaline
Mm-hmm.
to Professor Obramov, and then try to get him out of this room.
Okay, so you're going to step into the lab.
I have no alternative.
Cool. The doors slide open. You feel the air, the climate, the sort of rough climate control that they've set up in here, and you can feel the glare of this bright light on Longshore.
Oh.
And his eyes open as you walk in the room, and he says, "It's you."
I do my best to ignore him and focus on Professor Obramov.
It's you. You sent me there. You sent me there. He has so many secrets. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh God.
Thank you.
Where did I send him?
He's a part of me now and a part of you.
Oh God. He's handcuffed to his bed, isn't he?
He is handcuffed to his bed, yeah.
Okay, I'm doing our best to ignore him. This is frightening enough as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And try to get Obramov awake.
Awake,
Mikkel,
yes.
Mikkel, speak to me, speak to me.
You stab the adrenaline into him. You can hear the cackling of Longshore cut off. And, his eyes roll up and he goes, "Oh, my boy." And he just sits up with a jolt, grabs hold of you, like his heart pumping in his chest, and he staggers backwards and he's up and mobile. And he's okay. Which is when Dr. Chang steps into the room with the E Squadron grunt behind him.
And I shoot both of them.
Okay, roll to confront.
Because what else can I do? I will roll with the stress dice. Oh, that is a pair of sixes, and neither of them is on the stress dice.
Nice. Okay, so your additional. More
well,
harm?
I'd like to shoot them both.
You shoot them both.
I'm wondering where I am on the stress position with either of them. I don't know how tough they might be.
I mean, you've got to this guy before he could jack up on his suid serum. So
okay.
He is a heavy, basically a normal goon with a heavy weaponry, but you have taken him out before he can do it. One thing that you do, what does happen though,
yeah,
is that as he goes down, his finger squeezes on his trigger and a few rounds go boom, 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 and punch through the glass and hit that light that's focused on Longshore.
Oh shit.
And it's plunged into darkness, and you just see, like, from the remaining light in the room, Longshore's shadow is projected across the bed on the opposite wall in the room, and it detaches from the wall and it slinks over to Eva's bed. And as you hear your professor like go, "Boj," whatever it would be in Hungarian, my God. And Eva is lifted up by the shadow and blood begins to pour out of her.
Oh no.
And the shadow becomes more and more solid.
I will roll for stress then.
Yes. As you have encountered a different type of supernatural threat.
I have. That is 3. My stress is 3. It doesn't go up.
It doesn't go up. You know why it doesn't go up? This feels somehow familiar.
Right.
Familiar, right? Yes.
And with Mikkel's arm over my shoulder, I'm gonna. Did I kill Chang as well?
Chang is on the floor, like swearing, wounded, scrambling for like the comm on the wall.
That's what I call a distraction. I'm aiming to get out of the sick bay, and on the comms I'm saying, Ava's dead, and I've got Mikkel. There's no sign of your sister.
We cut back to Dylan. This is a ship. The sound of a gunshot goes off.
2 gunshots, in fact.
You hear from the others, there's a helicopter coming in, and something steps off somebody steps off the thing, flanked by 2 of the 2 members of E Squadron are on the deck, go to greet them, and the 3 of them start to walk down take the secure elevator down into the main deck. all of which Mia can see.
Is
So
there anything that I can do about that? That's what I'm seeing.
The operations, you could suspend the lift. Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I will suspend the lift and warn Dylan on our comms that company is on the way, but they are delayed.
Okay. So what we will need to do here is we need to get to where the prisoners are held captive, right? Because we need to get Maria out. And that is our priority now. We go there.
Okay. You and the watchtower guys can come out. Yelena, what do you do?
I guess Mia is giving us the all clear for secure elevator B, right? So
Yeah, Mia is going to have to stay in the ops room for it to keep
okay.
being this overseer sort of thing, you know?
Okay. Well, I'll wish her good luck.
Okay.
So now we're a split party 4 ways, right?
Well, you and Dylan are both heading in the same direction, it would seem.
Yeah.
As Constantine comes around the other, you know, is working his way, dragging a thingy, and you hear Chang start to scream behind you.
Longshore, he's one of them now. He's some kind of monster.
Secure elevator B. You can go down. As you go down, there is another member of E Squadron on the door, and he's going to turn around. You're going to have to deal with him to get through.
I deal with him.
You deal with him. Roll to confront.
So let me.
I
guess
jacked up
I
on
guess
civil serum. He's a 3 risk die at the moment, but I will remove one of those risk die because you also have the backup of the Watchtower consultancy guys, so there's only 2 risk die.
Okay, so I guess as we're going down in secure elevator B, I think it's maybe a. It's not quite like in Aliens where Ripley is going down to rescue Newt, but you know we see Yelena like taking all the gear out of that big gym bag to tool up. Yeah, out of her party dress, and I guess a submachine gun is where it's at right now. Compact submachine gun. So I think that's me declaring the safe house, right? For
Yes.
auto weapons.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, maybe it's just a new look for Russian assassins this year. So let's see. Normal dice, expertise, deadly. Yeah, I will just roll those 3. And sorry, you said 2 wrist dice, right?
2 wrist die is a sort of fudge for having you're not outnumbered. You've got backup. You know, I'm just doing the inverse of what it would be if there was multiple of them, basically.
Okay.
It's not often that operators have armed goons, to be honest.
Okay. It's a 6 on expertise and only a 4 on risk.
Nice. So you take him out. Your extra benefit can be enough to take him out entirely.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I should roll stress die.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 4, so that is stress. I
think what happened was that as the lift doors opened, there was a rattle of fire, you know, because this guy's just trained and triggered to go at the first sign of things not being right. And the Watchtower consultancy guys like duck back and like, holy shit. And then Yelena, of course, is just cool as a cucumber, just like steps out into the fire and poof, poof, poof.
Yeah, I think there's like a moment as we kind of feel the elevator coming down and the Watchtower guys, like you said, kind of step into cover, and maybe I'm not sure if Dylan needs to be told, but it'll be like a back away from the doors kind of thing, and just look around.
He appreciates it if somebody tells him, just, you know.
And yeah, you take him out. You've got the run of you've got the lower decks, and of course the lower decks. So you have come out of secure elevator B. You can see a mesh fence with several UV lights set up in front of it, and it says SBA storage in one direction, and then in the other direction it has examination rooms, interrogation, and special holding. Probably Maria is in one of the, your intel says that Maria is probably in the examination room.
So
Maria, sorry, Maria.
Yeah,
I apologize. Too close, similar names. I just noticed the time. We haven't had another third break. Should we take another quick break for toilets, bio break if people need, or we can play through? Just want to check in with people.
I can play through.
I'm good either way, but I understand if somebody needs 5 or 10.
Of course, yeah. Anybody needs it, we all need to go. It's fine. So, Sabine, are you okay?
Yeah, let me grab a little bite of fresh air right now. I have a headache coming in, and I need fresh air if I had it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can, but you know what? I'll switch out the loudspeakers and mute myself and open the window in this room, so we can play what we can go.
We'll carry on.
You sure?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'll carry on then. Thank you very much. And Donna, I'm gonna assume you would have said something if you wanted a break.
Yeah, I was gonna follow Sabine's lead.
You want to take a break?
No. I'm happy to keep going.
Okay, cool.
If she's happy that.
Then I will stop talking now, because otherwise we'll have just talked for all the time it would have taken to take a break anyways. Mia, you're on the thing on the lift. You can see it. The lift is going down. You see that the figure who is with the 2 members of East Squadron is a woman, a very attractive young woman, very well put together. And
is this Maria?
It's not Maria. No,
Okay.
It's a woman that you haven't seen before. And as the lift goes down and it judders to a halt, she rolls her eyes, sighs, and she looks up at the camera and she says, "Oh, you are making this so difficult." Well, if we must do things the hard way. And she reaches out to the E Squadron operator next to her, and she rips his throat out with her bare hands. And as the other one tries to pull his gun, she moves faster than you can imagine, and she rips his throat out. And then she stands on the ground and she begins to paint something on the back wall.
I will put this on, I will share this on comms, because this feels like something that people might want to know. And in particular, I'm going to say, Constantine, there's a woman in the elevator and she's drawing something on the wall in blood.
And Constantine screams, "Blood mage!"
What the fuck is a blood mage?
She'll be casting, she'll be channeling, she'll be harnessing.
Okay, so what do? She's stuck in the elevator right now.
I keep
She's
her in the
drawing shit on the
elevator.
wall.
Yeah, she'll be trying to create some way out of there. There's
Power
nothing
begins to fade from the systems.
There's nothing you can do.
Can you drop the elevator?
I mean, I can drop it, but it's not going to do any kind of damage. We're not tall enough.
Still, might distract her. If she's taking control, drop her. If we're lucky, she breaks a leg.
I'll shrug and I'll basically, is there any way that I can cut the elevator lines and disable the brakes from the ops room? So that it'll actually
make me a technical roll.
Okay.
Or, make me a roll. Digital intrusion, probably, I think, in this sense.
All righty. 2 seconds while I flip back over to roll with me. Rolling everything again. There's a 5 on the regular die.
Nice. So a 5 on the regular die will give you enough to fulfill your objective of essentially sealing this woman off, for she is not going to enter the scene. You have, you know, you're moving faster, and you can see that like the power levels and everything are fluctuating. The warning flashing lights coming off. It's saying everything is not going the way. Nothing seems to be explicable, could possibly compensate for the changes in pressure and all of that. And then just before the power cuts out entirely, you see the lift just go like, safety is disengaged, and you hear a huge secure elevator A has been taken out, which just leaves cargo lift as a good way to get up from the bottom of the ship.
I will relay that to everybody and give them directions.
I was going to say, where's the cargo lift?
My boy, what is going on?
Nothing. Don't worry, Mikhail. Everything will be fine.
Downstairs.
The cargo lift come up into the helicopter hangar. Please let the cargo lift come up into the helicopter hangar.
Maybe it does. Yeah.
Head to-
I think if you look at the photograph that you've put in on the far right, you can kind of see, right, just behind the helipad.
I mean,
They
they definitely
looks like an elevator.
Yeah,
right?
they definitely wanted the minimum amount of space to take the SBA containers from the helicopters to the lower decks where they are secured. Down in the lower levels, everything, all the lights flicker, and then the emergency lighting comes on. But all of the bulbs near you explode. The UV ones, the high-powered UV bulbs explode.
Of course they do.
And the green light that was above the SBA room turns off.
Oh, we should hurry.
So, Dylan, how about you go save Maria, and I will take the watchtower guys, and we will kill some SBAs.
Okay, I know what Maria looks like, right? Yeah, go and wipe the floor with them, Yelena. Try not to have too much fun.
I'll see.
That's, of course, when the door to the SBA room and red lights appear in the darkness as Dylan goes off down the corridor, and we hear the gunshots start to occur from the others. Dylan, you're running down the corridor towards...
Remind me what the Seward serum does. Because I need to be quick right now, right?
The Seward serum will make you very quick. It's the same as harness. It essentially gives you access to harness the dark, but only in the phrases of like what would enhanced physicality give you.
That's fine. I need enhanced physicality is exactly what I need. But I'm at 4 stress right now. And I have 1 intel.
So if you'd like to spend the intel to lower it and then do the thing, you can do.
I will. You know what? Yeah, I need to be quick now. And I'm in for the risk, right? So that seems appropriate. So yeah, I inject myself with the serum. I wanted to know what it's like all the time. And this seems to be as reasonable a time as any.
So I will say that for nothing, you move fast. You move faster than you start off sprinting. It feels dizzy for a second, and then you feel stronger than ever, stronger than you felt in your entire life. You move down that corridor like an Olympic athlete. And like most people, when they get very fast in a tight space, like they get clumsier. But for you, you've never had such balance or grace before. You feel like a ballet dancer at the same time. You take those corners, and you just whip around, and you come through to the examination room, where one of Dr. Chang's assistants is standing fearfully with a scalpel behind a locked door. And that door is locked mechanically, but Dylan now has the strength to rip it clean off its hinges if he wishes.
Yeah, he will rip it. Maybe not clean off its hinges. There's no need to pose around, right? I show up like a flicker of lightning, and then I stand and just casually drag the door open.
You just like making it look easy, but we just hear
Yeah.
Okay, roll me. So you've paid the stress for Harness the Dark.
I have
now-
not, but I will now.
Yeah, and I think, Alan, you correct me if I'm wrong, under the current rules, this means that you can do something else with your normal dice, and I think that the Harness in the Dark here is giving you expertise. Is
Okay.
that correct? Yeah.
And do I need to put in stress?
Oh, you don't need to put in stress now.
Okay, because I won't.
Yeah.
I'm feeling very unstressed. Yeah, I've got 2 5s. I'm very fine on this.
Okay, so for a 5 on do something else, you succeed with no obvious complication or benefit. Yeah, you, and the guy drops the scalpel and steps back from Maria, who goes, "Who the fuck are you?"
Hello, I guess I'm the rescue team.
Oh, thank God, my sister is not here. That good for nothing woman, always getting me in trouble.
She's actually out there. She's having fun killing a couple of these
Cut across to
Eurogoths. Yeah.
Yelena. Marty is, the watchtower guys are laying down fire, but it's like one of them just puff of mist, and it's behind Marty, and Marty is down. Dave screams and leaps atop it with pulling out a combat knife, sawing away at the thing's neck, and that's when the other one comes out and pushes and has Phil pinned, and Phil's screaming. What do you do?
I'm gonna, put this submachine gun to this guy's spine and, saw my way up to the base of the skull.
Okay. Roll me. You can roll all of your requisite dice. However, they are a supernatural creature, so they will cancel out your expertise die. But you luckily have deadly, so you've got 2 expertise going for you there. And they also have enemy supernatural creature, claws and teeth. 3
Okay.
risk die.
So let me. Okay. I'm just weighing up my risks here. Let me spend an intel to take my stress down.
Okay.
And then I'm going to spend that stress to pop a steward serum.
Okay, nice.
To get back, or to get a different expertise dice, right? So let's see how this goes.
And I'd say fictionally, we can say that expertise is the, like you shoot them in the back, but you're now quick enough to dodge when it rips around and tries to, quicker than you can blink, and you can carry on that sort of ballet of death.
This ballet of death is a 2-way street.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So yeah, I got a 4 and I got a 5 for my risk.
Cool. The 5 on the risk means you're going to have to roll for consequence. So if you would like to roll a d6, and the modifier is a -1.
Okay. And I'm looking for high, right? If I'm recalling correctly. That is not good. That's a 3 with that -1.
The consequences are serious, or you can mark armor off your gear.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that ceramic vest.
Nice. Serum, I'm going to say, by the way, lasts for the equivalent of a scene, but every time you push it to do something extra, you're going to have to like you would have to do for a Harness the Dark to, it changes your fictional positioning, but to put it into more concrete terms, you'll have to spend the stress to do like I run up a wall or whatever, right?
Okay, yeah.
So your ceramic vest cracks, one of the plates cracks as it punches you against it. It is pretty much severed in half, like by your burst of automatic fire, but it is clawing its way towards you across the floor as you groggily pick yourself up. Meanwhile, Konstantin and Mia, how are you guys securing the way off?
I'm just heading in whichever direction someone told me the remaining lift to the upper deck is.
Well, there is no remaining lift to the upper deck is down through the cargo area, or there is a secure hatch which has been welded shut. Now, perhaps one of you has got technical skills and the ability to cut through that. Or
I don't. Mia,
no, Mia.
how do we get out? How do we get out of
I
here?
need an exit.
Mia.
Mr. Wizard, I need an exit. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going down there with a fucking blowtorch to open a welded open hatch. I'm just giving you directions like run, turn left at the next quarter, turn right at the next quarter. You're heading toward the cargo lift. It's
the cargo lift does not intersect with the main deck. That's the
Oh
problem.
shit.
no, but it'll get Constantine up.
No,
Right?
I'm saying
No,
is that
there's no exit on this deck.
yeah, there is a
I have to
wall.
go down in order
Yeah.
to get in to go up.
Yeah,
Well, and that's part of what I'm saying. It's like, you need to, there's a ladder here. It's not going to be, it's going to be off to the side of this main cargo bay, but it'll get you to that lift. Just maybe be quiet.
I've
And don't
got
knock
an
anything
old
over.
man who's barely walking.
Haven't you ever given anyone a piggyback ride?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Then I follow the instructions. I
Yeah.
don't think they make no
Alan.
sense to Constantine.
the lights, the red light, the emergency lighting behind you flickers off one by one by one. Flee for your life.
Sorry, I'm muted. Of course I will. I will flee for my life. I am going to harness the dark in an effort to either to confuse whatever is behind me and gain some kind of either physical or cloud their perceptions best effort with the stress dice. Oh, I am walking the bloody edge here.
Oi.
And I do not fall off that edge. I rolled a 5, but it's not on the stress die.
So you feel, I have an idea for your thing. You feel that moving up behind you, you feel a presence behind you, feel it familiar, you feel that breath, and you turn around, hold up your hand, and it stops. It just draws itself tall. And it's
Be
just,
gone, foul creature of the night.
thank you. It dissipates back into the darkness.
Oh shit! There's some kind of freaky shit going on. Mia, it may be coming in your direction.
Constantine, this is our job. There's always some freaky shit going on. Get it together.
Dylan.
My stress manifests as tendency to panic.
Dylan, Maria is coming with you, moving slowly. She kicked that surgeon in the head when he was cowering on the corner, and she was like, "You piece of," and then you had to drag her off to get her to come with you.
I'm sitting here. You want to see your sister in some
kill
remote
her.
state that is why stop? I have a stop. Why do you want to kill her? She's my friend. She's here. She's fighting for your life.
Don't get in between family. But you
don't get in between me and my friends.
but you can hear all the gunshots and the noise and everything, and you can come around the corner just as Yelena picks herself back up and enters a fighter's crouch up against this SBA. Phil is scrambling to reload his bullets, laying down fire, and you can see other red creatures in the thing. And Dave pulls out a grenade from the E Squadron member's vest and throws it in there, and there's a bump and there's smoke filling it. Yelena, this SBA is still, the half severed torso of it is pulling itself up the wall like spider climbing up onto the ceiling, and it's about to leap down at you.
Okay, so I think as it kind of reaches the ceiling, I'm just going to grab its heel and just pull it straight down. And I think maybe there might be some, I don't know, maybe Dave has a grenade primed for me to pull the body on top of.
Yeah, Dave's pulling another grenade out of the east, scrambling at the east squadron's vest. He's pulled the grenade out. You can grab that grenade off him.
Yeah, just get this SBA to basically dive on the grenade for us.
Okay, so roll confront. 3 failure dice this time, unless you you know, because that was a invoke stress to remove the risk die before, I would say.
So remind me, you said that the expertise die I got for the Seward Serum was like a one-off, or is it?
Yeah,
it was
a one-off, I would say.
Okay,
one-off.
So it's 3v3, which makes me feel great. Okay, that does make me feel better. So I got a 5, and the highest risk die is a 4.
Nice. Explodes, and whatever's left under there is still moving, but barely. You know, like it is fragmented, it is in pieces, it is so badly damaged. You can see that, like, there's scraps of the corpse that it was, you know, the other corpses in this room, and it's reaching feebly out to try and grab one. And Dave's like, "We gotta fucking go, man! We gotta fucking go!"
Yeah, and I think Yelena is going to like walk backwards.
Maria comes around the corner and goes, "Boże moi, sister, what have you done?"
I'm saving your ass, Masha. That's what I'm doing. Get in the fucking lift.
She ducks into the cargo lift, which is powerless, but there is a nice ladder going up.
Where's Mia?
Mia, well, I guess Mia can speak for herself.
Yeah.
Still in ops?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in ops, working on a couple of things.
Yeah, get your ass out of there. We need to leave.
Mia, what do you do when you feel the room go very, very cold? Did that shadow move?
I'm going to sigh, and I'm going to drop one of my UV grenades as I head toward the door. And I'm going to tell the crewman who's like zip tied on the ground, listen, your feet are free. You'll float. Get off this ship. It's not going to be above water much longer.
Yeah, you don't have to tell him twice. He scrambles and runs out. And that's when, you know, as he scrambles and runs out, you see that what you thought was his shadow stays behind on the wall and steps forward towards you.
This is not Neverland, motherfucker.
Gonna roll confront?
Oh, why not?
And this is forest die, but you'd need to spend intel to capitalize on any UV light kind of situation.
Well, good thing I have some intel, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'll spend intel to define that this thing, I mean, it's a shadow. Light's going to dispel it, correct?
Mm-hmm. So, well, we have to declare a power, right, before we can, or do we have to declare a compulsion before we can? So it'd be 2 intel spends to get to a deterrent, right?
One, you need to have a compulsion under your belt before you can have a deterrent. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it would be 2 intel, in fact, to get to a deterrent for it to work.
Luckily, I have 3.
Nice. So you could go all the way to a vulnerability.
Yeah, but and I need to mark grenades on my inventory.
So,
I mean, surprise. Mia has grenades.
I will give one of the compulsions from it, which is that it is attracted to blood. You know, you get, you know, Constantine, for example, would remember that it probably went for Eva because she was on all kinds of intravenous blood and everything, you know, like it was fresh, it was out there. And then there's sunlight for deterrent, and then vulnerability could be extreme deterrence or anything, you know. Extreme deterrence is probably the one that would make the most sense here, fictionally, for you to think of, you know, as a tool if you're using the UV one.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking I might need that last intel for something.
we got probably 5 more minutes of play.
Well, you know what? Let's just go. Let's go whole hog and blow it all.
Okie dokie. So that means that you get your expertise back for this confront because you've negated it with the deterrent, and you've got the chance of doing double the damage to it on a success, thanks to it
All
being
right.
using a vulnerability.
And so I've got regular die, expertise because I'm using some of the stuff that I made, stress, and deadly/explosive, correct?
Do you get deadly/explosive?
It's a grenade. It's a UV grenade.
I don't usually give it, I have to say.
No, I don't think I would do, because it's yeah.
Okay.
It's a heavy. I need to check. I think it's listed as heavy.
Yeah. I wouldn't give it just because it's a UV one, frankly, more than anything. And it
Okay.
is a deterrent, but yeah, it's but still, having your expertise and being able to do damage in this way at all
Is enough. Okay.
yeah.
So 3 dice, I should say. 2
Of course,
6s.
2
Neither
sixes.
is on the 4. So I only collect 1 intel when I roll 2 6s, correct?
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Puckett, you've had to ask that question almost every session.
But that bright light, just you hear a scream of rage, and I'm going to spend one of my heat to take whatever this shadow entity is out of harm's way as it dissipates. You see as the room like flickers away, the shadows come back after this bright piercing UV light, and you just see something flicker off down the corridor.
That's what I thought. And at that point, I am going to take, I'm going to go ahead and declare some more gear.
Mm-hmm.
What's an assault rifle? Is it? Yeah. So I will go ahead and pull the assault rifle out, and I'll just spray the ops room with a couple of clips. So all these systems are done.
Fair.
And then I'm on my way to the bridge.
To the bridge. Okay. Well, everybody else, you get to the cargo lift, and you climb your way up. Constantine, you make your way down to one of these, you climb down you get through a hatch that Mia has managed to open up. Yeah, you go through, you're following in the footsteps of it, and you guys can move up the cargo lift. You're climbing your way back up. Some things are coming after you though, up the thing. So make one last roll for flee for your lives, please. And let's start off with, well, you know what, Dylan, you're the commander, you're the commanding officer here. Why don't we have you make the flee for your lives for everybody in this situation, I think.
Good idea. I have no expertise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I'm rolling the stress die because I kind of want these other people to be alive. It's a 4 on the stress die though, so it means I roll for stress, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go on. That's, of course it goes up. This is stressful. Oh wow, I'm at 5.
The others get away. You're yelling at them to come up. Dave is holding the rear, and you manage to get his attention just quick enough to, so he scrambles up the hatch as something flings itself within human speed against the far wall and lets out a blood-curdling scream. But you guys are now doing the whole alien climb up the ladders as Dave drops another grenade behind him.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys get out onto the deck of the ship. Where's Mia?
I will relieve my stress immediately by shouting at someone. Probably by shouting at I don't know, is Marty still there or Phil? No, Phil's still alive, right?
Phil's still alive, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just let it out. I yell at Phil that we need to get Mia, and that he was too slow on that fucking ladder, and if that's what killed Mia, he will not have a nice life afterwards, and he will wish that he was dead multiple times, but he won't be.
Okay, roll to seek relief from the horror.
Yeah, because that's what I do when I'm too stressed out. I will verbally abuse someone. And I'm rolling this one. And I'm rolling a 5, and I think that's the first time that I sought relief from the horror in this entire series where it didn't roll 3 and lower. So
True.
yay. Mm-hmm.
And that was your wish as well from last session.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
we've got it. Yeah. So we mark heat and agree with control how this draws the conspiracy's attention to the team.
Wow.
And
Marty's going to report you to head office.
Marty's going to report you to head office.
Good thing that Marty's dead.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, is it Phil? Sorry.
Phil, yeah.
He can report me to the head office when he wants.
And Dave hears this. And when you look around, he's gone looking for Mia. How are the rest? The Constantine, the doctor, your professor, is starting to flag. The adrenaline's wearing off. Maria looks terrified. Yelena, she says, she grabs you, she says, promise me if we don't get it out of here, you'll look after my children.
If we're not getting out of here.
You always survive.
Get into the helicopter.
Yeah. Run for the helicopter?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the way I'm talking to Maria is the way I'm talking to Constantine and his mentor too. They're all civilians right now to Yelena.
Nice. You guys go?
Yeah, I'd like to think that maybe Maria gets roped in to go under the other arm.
Yes.
And, we get him to the helicopter.
I think that Maria doesn't rope in, she just does it, right? Because she might be pissed off, but she is a nice person as well, really. She's the nicer out of the two sisters, I would say, overall.
A real human being.
What?
Yeah. She doesn't murder
Character
people.
assassination. I guess, is Mia...
Well, I was just going to try and put you guys there, and then I'm going to cut back to Mia as, things are coming up on the... you don't know how much time you've got, but you can see the helicopter starting to spin, and on the comms, Mia's got the, Mia, where are you? Coming in. So Mia, where are you? You on the bridge?
I figure everybody's probably cleared the bridge by this point.
The bridge is surprisingly empty.
Okay.
There is no one there whatsoever.
I'm just going to head over to the controls. I'm going to start this thing up. I'm going to point it out to sea. I'm going to drop a tracking device on the floor. And I'm just going to spray the controls down. So this thing's going.
Cool. Roll me your technical skill.
All righty. Again, I'll roll everything because why not? That is a 5 on expertise. It is the highest die.
Nice. The ship wrenches as it pulls away from the docks without fully unmooring. You managed to get the main anchor up, but not all of the little ancillary bits that were tied on. It wrenches and pulls away. You can see out on the shoreline, there is a watchtower and flashlights coming on, and people who are stationed on the small base here are starting to wonder what the fuck's going on here. As a helicopter blade starts to run. Mia, as your job done, you're turning your way towards the thing, and that's when you notice what happened to the bridge crew. They are all pale and cold and all stuffed into a cupboard next to one of the doors. And Dave comes running around the gantry and he goes, "Come on, we gotta get..." As a hand plunges through his back and comes out the other side. And I'm going to spend a heat to have the conspiracy eliminate a mole who was reinserted as a prisoner who was reinserted as a mole. And Mia, you are faced with the woman from the lift.
I actually liked him, you bitch.
You can always find another one, darling. Dylan, did you get on the helicopter?
I'm waiting for Mia. And I'm keeping the helicopter staying until Mia comes out.
Well-
we're not going until
Okay,
Mia
then I
comes
cut back to Mia to do. I just wanted to see if Dylan wanted to be a enter stage right kind of save Mia. But Mia,
I was going to suggest the helicopter. If Mia can't come to the helicopter
Oh,
can go
yeah.
to her.
That
Okay.
is fine. Let's
Dylan.
go. Let's take the helicopter to Mia. That's brilliant.
you see Dave on the bridge deck, and then you see suddenly this figure behind him, and Mia standing in the doorway, and you yell out to Yelena, "Yelena, if you'd like to roll me your vehicles, do something else." And I'm, this
Can
is
I
confront, in fact.
decapitate someone with the rotor blades?
You can try. It's definitely going to be enough to make them move, I would say, even a vampire. But this is confront. You get to roll your vehicles. You know what? I'm going to allow deadly as well, frankly.
Yeah.
Helicopter blades are pretty deadly.
Yeah, that's true. I'll be shooting at her just for funsies. I will declare a rifle thingy.
I recall in Yelena's first time out in London, she did kill someone with the speedboat.
Oh,
So,
nice.
Classic.
I have history.
But I will say that this is probably 4 die.
That's fair.
Because it's I can't think of a safe way to do this.
What
even
could
at the best of
possibly go
times.
wrong?
Let's hope she doesn't jump into the cockpit.
Well,
Can I drop a UV grenade at this point as well? Would that do anything?
You could crack one and it would act as a deterrent, and it would
Would it act as enough of a distraction to give Yelena time to do what she needs to do?
well, it'll act as a deterrent. It will essentially
Get her to step out of the bridge onto
yeah. Well, it's so what it does
the
is
risk die.
gives you the risk, reduces the risk die by 1. So there's only 3
I'll drop
risk die
one
now.
then.
Oh, okay.
will the fact that I'm shooting at that lady help as well?
No, because there's not really a cooperation in that. This is a weaponizing. It's fictional positioning to be like bang bang. She doesn't seem to care that you're shooting at her at all.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I'd rolled before. I'd gotten some help from Mia. I'd gotten 2 6s, including on my stress die. One of the risk die had been stress. It's the second one, so I don't know.
If you removed one of the risk die, I would have assumed that we would have rolled from the left, right? So we would have got rid of the 3, I would say, right? So that leaves one of the 6s on the table. Just as, because otherwise re-rolling it just gives you more chance of rolling a 6, I would say, anyways, right? Like 3 dice. So either way, well, whatever. I guess one of them's a certainty and one of them's not. Either way, you've done this achievement. You've rolled a 6, but you have to roll for consequences, and it's a -1.
Okay. Well, that's a 0.
It's fine. Everybody suffers a cosmetic injury, right? Like battle damaged, smoke filling up the chopper, but it goes as it, on a 6, you've got the added benefit of driving them off essentially, and I will again spend another point of heat to have her make a escape essentially, as you rip it across, and she just drops Dave's body like immediately and just seems to blink just as the helicopter blades rip through the air that she was and crash, sending a huge chunk out of the gantry, ripping through it. The helicopter rocks back and Mia can jump aboard just as like the first of the SBAs from the basement start to come up onto the deck, snarling and hissing. And you can fly off into the sunset. Dave's body left, just staring up as these red eyes gather around it.
There is one more thing I'd like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I have that tracking device on the helicopter.
I
was sitting in ops, or on the bridge, and while I was sitting in ops, I had some time.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to roll for this, I will. If you want to just allow this to happen, that's fine.
What is it?
But when it gets to coordinates that I had plotted, I've hacked into the launch system. I'm going to fire a tomahawk at the son of a bitch.
What, one of their own missiles?
Yeah, one of the British military's missiles, just to take the ship out and sink it.
Yeah. You can. You know what? Why not? We'll just have that. You managed to hack the the SAM launcher on the ship. You did that on the controls are in the bridge, and you left behind a remote thing, and it's just literally firing straight up, and then it's already locked onto your homing beacon, and it goes straight back down again. And we just see that sort of like, you know, pillar of smoke and fire up into the air, and then a glowing thing goes in the background as a helicopter flies away, and you know, flying low, ditching on the other side of the channel as military planes are scrambled to deal with this incursion. But we end the operation. You you achieved your objective. You destroyed the AVH symbol. You also destroyed Prosperine, and you definitely killed a supernatural creature, or 2, or 3, or 4. So that's 2 stress, I think, off everybody. And you saved
2 heat, 1 stress.
2 heat, 1 stress. And that's it. So
And I get my 6 stress box back.
yes, you do. Everyone gets to unmark their taken, and they get to mark their things back down, their ones back down to just target, I think, right? They're not missing anymore. They've got a Viking burial. Who knows what happens to Mr. Longshore?
I'm pleased Walt is still out there.
And we've run late, I apologize, but do we have 5 more minutes for epilogues? I think I'd rather do that than, you know, we can ask it again if we've got stars and wishes. So yeah, epilogues. Cool. Dylan, what's your epilogue?
I think it's probably, let's see. Oh yeah, it's somewhere in Mexico. He's in a bar, sitting there having a drink. Is Mia there? Mia is there. And he's like, I thought it would mean more, right? We destroyed this whole thing, and I don't know. I still think I don't think we have done a lot, even though it was a lot. I meant maybe a lot. He's pretty much babbling and kind of feeling sorry for himself, right? And yeah, and then he will tell her that, you know what, Mia, I just miss him so damn much. I had a conscience and he died, and now I have this conscience and I don't know what to do. Fuck this. Get me another.
So Dylan having a crisis of conscience, staring in the glass and seeing, you know, Dave went back for Mia, Dylan didn't, kind of thing.
This is not about Dave. This is about his boyfriend who died.
Oh, his boyfriend.
Was a really decent man. So yeah.
Okay, cool. I see. And then Mia?
Oh, I'm getting shit-faced with Dylan because, you know, I knew Dylan's boyfriend and he was kind and generous. I'm mourning Dave at this point. It's not like I was in love with the guy, but he was kind. He had that big himbo energy going on. He came back for me. He was a sweet guy. And I mean, people die when we're doing these things, but it doesn't mean that I don't feel it.
Nice.
You know?
So the Mia and Dylan scene is both mourning different dead men in their own ways. I like it.
Yeah.
Yelena?
I think we see her with a couple of youngish kids in some, you know, random Scandinavian city, maybe Stockholm. You know, playing with them in the park as Maria is sorting out the final details of her new cover.
Mm-hmm. I like that. And the kids obviously absolutely adore their Auntie Yelena. You know, like it's very apparent that they are deeply, you know, just besotted with this mysterious woman. Does Yelena look as though she's enjoying it?
Yeah, but yeah, there's definitely like some moments where they're not looking at her, where she is like doing her deadpan scan of people walking by the park and
There's a
the windows. And
there's a quiet moment as a car pulls up, right, and you just push the kids without them noticing, even behind a bench, and then the car just drives off. Like, yeah, lovely. Constantine?
An anonymous hotel bedroom somewhere, heavy drapes. Constantine is asleep. When the bathroom light is on, casting a shadow into the room, and the shadow begins to animate and move closer to the bed and closer to the bed, and the shadow moves up the sleeping Constantine's form until he's covered. Then Constantine wakes screaming from the dream.
Nice. Yes. Thank you very much, guys. I'm going to end the recording now as we finish Ties of Blood.